And we are live. Welcome to another live episode of the David and Aiden Show. My name is David.
And my name is Aiden.
And today we have some exciting topics. We're going to talk about WandaVision's episode 3 through 6, I believe, the firing of Gina Carano, so some controversy up in here, and then our thoughts on Mando Season 2, because Aiden finally finished the season. Well, technically,
Almost.
But we're ready to talk about it.
For sure.
So we'll just wait for some people to roll in. I just posted a little update on my channel, so hopefully we'll start rolling in. But until then, should want to get into talking about WandaVision?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. So, this is a great show.
Oh, it is. Wow. Dude, this is honestly my favorite show that I've seen in a very long time. And I think I'm going to get some hate for it, but I like it better than The Mandalorian. I'm not going to lie.
I kind of agree with you.
Different. It's refreshing. It's refreshing. And I love it, dude. I don't know. We can get more into it, but
special,
it's just so
good.
Yeah.
No, I kind of agree with what you were saying about The Mandalorian, because every episode is just so unpredictable. With Mandalorian, I did a video a while back called The Mandalorian Starting to Bore Me, and in there I had my famous quote of team up victory, thank you. That's every episode of The Mandalorian. Not here. This is so bizarre and strange and creative.
Yes.
I'm really loving it. So I kind of agree with that Mandalorian take.
I just
really
love that
it, but yeah.
It's different every single episode. It's like they're really pushing the boundaries, and to think that this is coming from Marvel. I said this last stream. It's just I'm really excited to see what Phase 4 has, and it's I'm just really pumped, and it's I don't know. One of my personal favorite episodes so far just was episode 4. I love the that's one where they they went out of the normal program, so it's the first time we see all of these sword people, and that is so cool. I would pay to get a television show that's like Shield but with sword. That would be so sick.
Right. And I think it does
so
such a good job being a contained series. Imagine if this was trying to be 20 episodes long, it would be horrible.
Right. Yeah, it's great.
But yeah, no, there's so much love about it. So let's kind of get into it episode by episode. Before that, let's address people. Hello, glad you could make it. Very glad you can make it. Yes, we're doing a live stream. He has DM'd me so many times about when we're going to do a live stream, but we're doing it now. Episode 6 is the funniest. Beg to differ, but comedy is subjective. And probably my favorite. I could see it being my favorite, but funniest. It's that kind of modern 2000 humor that I just don't like. But I really like the old ones. Those made me laugh the most.
Dude, yeah.
Enough.
Yeah.
Because YouTube is dumb.
Fact.
But you're here and we're so happy. Hello, Jennifer. Glad you can make it. And yes, Nolan is here. The king has arrived. So episode by episode. So we talked about episode 1 and 2 last time, about a month ago. I can't believe it's already been on for 5 weeks.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It's insane how much time flies. 2021 is going to be over. But regardless, episode 3, that is, which one's that?
Episode 3, that's, it's been a while. I think that's when,
we're really good at this, guys. It's the 70s one with a neighbor, Rambo, and then Dead Vision.
Oh, that's when awesome, yeah. And that's when
she's pregnant. That's it. That's the key event.
Does she have the baby in that one? I think
she has the baby in that one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
The following one is where they grow up. Gotcha. We're really good at this, guys. So yeah, that episode, I think that's probably my third or fourth favorite. It's good. The ending is great, and that's kind of leading into the next.
Dude, the ending is so episodes. Cool. It's I don't know. The show is just so unique. There's so many just crazy parts about it. I think it's hard to really describe it. I think they did something different and unique, and that's why it's working so well, because we've never seen any television show like this. And we really have. They did an excellent job of showing that underlying plot, because at the beginning it feels oh, this is just a sitcom, this old mimic of a sitcom, right. But you get these bits and pieces of the plot to come, and you really start seeing that in full force, and get the theories are really solidified in episode 4. But I think it's just until that point you get these bits and pieces, and it's so cool the way they're able to do that, and I think it's just written very well. And it's a great show.
Let's see. Well, the other episodes have made me laugh, though. I guess episode 6 had so many random lines that just had me laughing. No, I totally get that. Comedy is subjective. Just once again, those kind of modern randomness usually don't land for me. There's a couple gems that really shows that can really nail that random style. Personally, I know I'm nostalgic to the show. I think Victorious does a great job at that. But yeah, modern sitcom humor never makes me laugh, but
Yeah.
it was a really great episode nonetheless. So we move over to the one we already mentioned, episode 5,
Four.
where it.
Let's see, 5?
4.
4 or 5?
Yeah, 4. Wait, 4. Yes. God, there's just it feels just one after another, and the wait feels so long, but once we get there, it just feels like we haven't missed a beat. It's so well how it's produced. It's like it never misses a beat. It's so good, and I'm always interested, which is something that I can't say about The Mandalorian season 2, but we'll get to that. So what were your thoughts on episode 4?
Episode 4 is by far my favorite in the series. I think it's just so cool. I mean, obviously it breaks away from like the traditional episodes up to that point, but it's just so cool to kind of get like, because at some point in the series they wouldn't be able to carry it on without giving us that added exposition of like what's happening in the outside world. So they needed to have that episode. And I think they did it very well. I think, showing like everyone coming back from the blip, and like, it's kind of like, it ties it into the MCU. It's really the first episode that we have like solid evidence that this is a, television program that takes place in the MCU, and it's a really great episode. I love seeing the people from Sword. I think that's just a really good, fun added part of it. And I was saying this earlier, it would be so cool to have a television show dedicated to like Sword, just like how Shield is. It's I don't know, it's great. I love that episode so much. So
it's really good. Now, okay, I got all the episodes on Disney Plus.
Nice.
Follow closely of what we're talking about. But yes, no, episode 4 is probably my favorite as well. It does a really good job answering questions, opening up questions. And I love the transition of what's going on, and then the questions that they set up. I love the answers that we get for them, especially in episode 6. So with that being said, episode 5 on a very special episode is the title of it. We get a Fox Quicksilver. What was your reaction when you saw him?
It was awesome, dude. I mean, it was really cool. I don't know. Dude, they just keep getting better. The episodes are just insane. I thought it was really cool.
But I liked all the stuff that was happening on Earth, so it's a really good balance of keeping us interested what's going on with Sword, and also this wacky sitcom.
It's really cool.
So it's a very balanced show. I wish it was longer, but it's a very balanced show. Everything about it so well made. When I saw it, it's weird. I saw a screenshot of him on Twitter because I forgot that I'm not supposed to look at Twitter the day after an episode. So it was kind of spoiled for me. It was already announced. He was already part of the cast. But still seeing him, it was just such an unreal experience. Like, this is happening. This is like real life. Kind of like when they brought Ezra Miller Flash on The Flash. Just kind of stuff like that. And of course, can I spoil the end of Mando for you?
Fine.
You know about it.
No, yeah, for sure.
Like when we saw Luke in the end of Mando, it's like these surreal fan moments. Like, this is actually happening. So even though I knew about this, it's insane. It really is.
Quick side note, I was worried that there was another spoiler for Mando. I knew a thing about Luke Skywalker like months ago because I've had multiple people spoil it. So you're all good. Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. And that's very fair. So is there anything else you want to say about episode 5 before we get to episode 6?
I don't know. I think it was just a really good episode. I think, going back to what you were saying, just the balance of the entire series. I think it's just very well made. It's very balanced. And I think it's, I don't know. I mean, it's like short and sweet, like these quick, sitcom formatted episodes, but I think they do it very well. I mean, like you said, it would be great if we had just more. I would love to watch this show forever, but I think what they're doing with it is just, it works very well. And I think it's a really well made show. So yeah.
Yes, it's very well made. Also, I want to touch on Vision kind of becoming conscious about what's going on with the,
that's a really, really cool character arc. It's so interesting. Yeah. It's
Vision's always been so subservient to Wanda and just kind of like, in love with her and just very, very polite. But their whole fight that people have been memeing like Marriage Story, which I love. Those memes are amazing.
Yeah.
But that's a great character arc and just shows, the dangers of grief. And it's so good.
It's really great because it's it takes like these fun kind of concepts and it really talks about like these underlying messages. I mean, it's essentially just Wanda trying to be in denial of like what's actually happening. It's just a really, really interesting concept, and I think they're playing it really well. And I think again, it's just the whole idea of having like a show, but you have like all these other sub points and stuff kind of buried underneath, and you start to see them bit by bit, and it's really like it's a really cool reveal of like what the show is actually all about. So Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's really cool. And like I was kind of speculating what was going to be about in the first couple episodes, but seeing it fully developed in such a great and thought out way, something that other Disney projects can lack sometimes.
for
It's
sure.
so refreshing. And also I was going to touch on something else. I think that's the first episode where we see Hayworth. I think that's his name.
Yeah, I think so.
Our generic military evil guy.
Yeah.
Some people are speculating that he's the big bad in this whole thing. I'm not sure if I necessarily believe that, but I think we should move over to episode 6 because that's where
Yes.
everything just kind of just goes even crazier if that's
Oh,
possible,
yeah.
which it is. So, episode 6 dropped last
Dude,
night. What are your thoughts?
episode 6 is great. I watched it at 5 in the morning, so I'm not like
Oh, wow.
I'll have to rewatch it. So I was trying to binge the Mando last night, so that worked well. But no, it was really good, and I think you know, I saw in the chat someone saying how it's like, you know, funnier. I personally think the older episode 1 and 2, like when it was still black and white, the 50s and 60s were just funnier. I agree with you. I think just that style is good, but I think the plot of episode 6, I think it's just it gets awesome. It's really, I'm just super pumped for the next couple episodes. It's gonna be really great. So, what are your
I
thoughts?
know. The main thing with this episode was, of course, Quicksilver, what's going on with him.
Yeah.
So now I think we can tackle these questions. I don't think it's Quicksilver. Something else must be going on with him. Absolutely. He is like Wanda's consciousness or something because he's like not even subtle about the questions. Like, how did you get these kids? Were they dead? Are they alive? How did you do this? So he is fully aware that that something is up and
Yeah.
that it's probably not moral. So, and then at the end, she just blasts him into a wall. So clearly she's not like, you know, and like so happy her brother is back. She was, but not anymore because he's not saying what she wants to hear.
Yeah.
And that kind of, so I do think something else is going on. Manifestation of our big bad. Who knows? There's so many different ways they could take this. So
Oh, for sure.
I'm not going to speculate. Do you
It's a
have any
great
theories?
turning point. I'm not sure if I have like theories per se, but I think it's an excellent turning point. And I think, no, just what you said, there's so many ways they could spin it. I think there's like, dude, like the ending of each episode is just, I love the suspense and waiting week to week to get the next episode. It's just crazy. I'm really, really excited for episode 7. It's
Right.
episode 7 might be my favorite. You know,
There's a strong chance.
yeah, for sure.
So in this episode, we also learn about her control on this whole thing.
Yeah.
Which was nice. It's a nice balance of, obviously, I don't think she is gonna be a villain. She's very close to becoming a villain, especially in that beautiful silhouette where she's like in all dark and just her hands are glowing. Amazing.
So cool.
Right? Oh, it's such a good show.
Yeah.
We're just total fanboying here. But no, it's I don't think they'll take her full villain. I just don't see them doing that. I would love if they did that. That would be awesome and just be insane. But I don't think they're taking her full villain. But it definitely shows that she definitely has control of this thing, but also not. She doesn't know how this started. She's just kind of happy with it, living in it. Also, going back a little bit, I believe it was an episode either 4 or 5 where the people who had Vision's sword, they were experimenting on him. So she stole him. So they aren't probably good either. So I do like that no one's really good. Wanda's just trying to be happy. So I love these answers. And
right. There's no real clear definition between like the good guys and the bad guys.
Exactly.
I think it's very mixed and it's very like it's a good representation of real life. It's not like that classic black or white scenario. It's really, really just a mixed bag. And I really like just how they're playing it. I think it's turning out so well. I mean, I wasn't overly hyped for the show when they first announced it. I was kind of just like, it was there for me. I had no real opinions, but after just watching it, I'm full all in with this. It's great. So yeah.
Right. No, it's something special. So now we get to the end where Vision is the whole episode. He's been trying to get questions. Now Agnes, the neighbor, do you think that she's more than she seems? Because I know that's the big theory that she might be the big bad. I think some names that have been thrown around are Nightmare or Mike. You can help me out with theories. That's Toby. He wants to be a part of the podcast.
No, yeah, I think
go ahead.
She for sure seems like. Well, I mean, everyone in the whole show seems like they have something that's like they're hiding and that's going to come out later. But I think, no, she seems very much like, I don't know. I haven't read too much about the theories because I don't typically read theories for films or anything until I watch them fully, just so I can develop my own opinions. But I think that's very, very high chance that she'll play a larger character throughout. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't see her just becoming the big bad. I feel like she is kind of a victim. she could be playing, of course, as villains often do. I personally don't see it, but I know there are comic experts out there that do see it. So I don't believe them, but I personally don't see it, but we'll see. No, but I love Vision's little quest of him trying to figure out what's going on and seeing these people who, you know, the further you get from the town, the more inanimate you are. You're just kind of like background characters in a show, which I kind of found a cute little, you know, comparison. And then we get to the end. So let's talk about the end, which was insane. I'm not sure how far that storm. It's basically like Fortnite. I hate myself that I just compared this to Fortnite in 2021. I'm not sure how far this is going to engulf the city, but it's great. So what do you think is going to happen in episode 7?
I'm not sure. It could be the episode that we see. I mean, I don't know. Episode 7, because there's going to be 9 episodes total, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. So I don't know if episode 7 is when we see like Wanda, you know, leaving. If that's going to be, if the final like episodes after that will all be like just in the real world. I don't know if we'll see that for sure, but I think for sure there'll be a big turning point in episode 7. I think episode 7 is going to be, you know, probably a pretty. I don't know. It's going to definitely be different, and I don't have any huge predictions, but I think I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, the whole, like, so many people are now engulfed in this thing. So right when they kind of got engulfed in the storm, they seemed kind of conscious. I'm not sure if they are conscious, but I honestly don't know where they're going to take this. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't know, but I love what they're doing with this show.
I'm so excited. It's different. Every episode is so weird, so different, and I am all in. I'm just really excited to see what happens next. So, for sure.
Before we go to the next topic, I wanted to address this. They did skip a decade. They went from, I believe it was 80s. Yeah, they went from the 80s, skipped the 90s, just went to early 2000s with Malcolm in the Middle.
Interesting. Yeah, that's yeah.
Oh, episode 6. Oh, really? That's the 90s? Okay, it just looked a lot more modern. I thought Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
When did Malcolm in the Middle? It aired in
January 9th, 2000.
Okay, it started in 2000 from what I had.
Right around that mark. So
it's fair enough. Yeah, from January 9th, 2000 to May 14th, 2006. Wow, 6 years.
Wow.
So any final thoughts or words before we go to our next topic?
Not a lot. I think I'm just excited to continue watching, and for sure, once the next couple episodes are released, we'll do another episode or live stream to talk about the rest of the series. Maybe we can make a whole stream dedicated to it because it's there's going to be a lot to break down once we have the full series. So I'm excited.
I know, and just kind of stuff like this gets me excited. Like now, Darcy is in this weird sitcom realm, so that's going to be an amazing character because she's already an amazing character.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, with that being said, you want to move over to the Gina Carano topic?
Let's do it.
Oh boy, I'm nervous for this one. So why don't you start us off, Aiden? What are your just quick thoughts on this whole thing?
Right. So I saw because all of this happened, I think, between Wednesday and yesterday, and I first I was not paying attention to all the news and everything. I actually learned about it from Paul because he made a TikTok about it.
That's right.
But it's it's interesting. I personally think whenever anything like that happens, I think it's always good to, it's a hard decision to make. But I think when an actor is spreading things that are obviously, bad, they're saying poor stuff on the internet, they're saying bad things. I think it's not good to keep them, involved in a franchise that's, because then it becomes like a face of that, the actor who's playing a role that, young people are watching, people who look up to. You don't want to have someone who's spewing out these negative comments on the internet and these remarks. And I think that's happened a couple of times, and I don't know. I know there's always huge controversies because where is the line between the actor and then the character that they play? But I think at some point when there's an actor who has these certain ideas and stuff, it kind of then influences the rest of the production, and I think it can kind of get messy very fast. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
Okay, to put it very simply, should she have been fired? Yes. Now this has been going on for, I believe, September, where she was spreading not like COVID's not real theories, but just kind of some casual, anti-COVID things, which Twitter doesn't completely come down on, as they probably should, unlike YouTube really comes down on that stuff. So just that kind of got her attention. People are making her out to be like she never wears a mask, or she just kind of questions stuff, which some people take really strongly. And then it kind of got into some more just kind of childish stuff where she was making fun of pronouns. She changed her bio to beep boop bop just because she can, just kind of really silly juvenile stuff like that. And then it all kind of culminated into yesterday where, well, now 2 days ago, where she compared being a conservative to being a Jew in Nazi Germany. That should get you fired, just quite simply.
No, for sure.
Not cancel culture, it's consequences. This is where, and people who want to compare this to James Gunn, that's not a good comparison at all. James Gunn, they went back in time, found tweets and jokes from 10 years ago that he would never say today because he's smart enough to know that he would get canceled. They went back, found those jokes, and then canceled him today. Not the same thing. She's actively doing this, and it's almost like a little game for her.
Oh, dude, for sure, yeah. It's
so. But one final note, then I'll pass it over to you. The one thing that I agree with, the more, fandom menace part of Star Wars, and God, I hate this. This is getting political. I'm a progressive. I don't like Gina Carano, but I don't agree with her politics. That's not a reason for firing. Her comments are a reason for firing. But looking at the right-leaning side of the Star Wars fandom, their main argument is why aren't people on the left getting called out for that? And I completely agree. I cannot tell you how many neoliberals on Twitter say some of the most horrific, just dumb, childish stuff. I wish they were held accountable. Unfortunately, they're not. So that's just unfortunate. It really is. I wish they were. But just looking at this case by itself, I'm glad she was fired. And I wish the more extreme neoliberal side of the spectrum, I wish they were held accountable too. And I don't think they ever will be. So that's unfortunate. So I understand the frustration on both sides. Okay, that's my TED Talk.
I think, there's a lot to break down, and I think I'll totally agree with you. I'm for sure more liberal and more progressive, and I think, but at the same time, there's going to be people who are radical on either side, and you got to find a way to hold everyone accountable, just so there can be a happy medium. Because people are going to be so dramatic about either way. I just feel like I can understand, I guess, the other side's opinion on this, but in this situation, there's no question about it. She should be fired, and that's I think. Again, though, going back into cancel culture, I think I've never really understood cancel culture. I mean, I get where people are coming from, but I feel like it does more harm than good. I think, she's fired. There's no reason to then make this into a huge thing. I think I don't know. It's a hard thing, but I think she was fired. They did the right thing. I think cancel culture just sometimes, I don't know, becomes something that it isn't. It's designed to just create all this added drama, and it almost becomes this form of political just entertainment. It's less about this person did something bad. It's we're going to monopolize on this person to do all this stuff, and it takes away from that. So I think they did the right thing. I think she 100% needed to be fired, and like you said, it was a culmination of everything with all the stuff that she had been putting out, and then Wednesday was just for sure the last straw. And I think that's for sure a great call on Disney's part. So
yes, and a couple other things. There are people on the right who still work at Disney. Chris Pratt is a conservative, from what I'm aware of.
For sure,
he keeps his mouth shut. He doesn't say anything hateful. He doesn't, poke fights with, the non-binary community. He doesn't change his bio to beep boop bop, and he doesn't get fired. It's as simple as that. It really is. And when people on Twitter tried to come down on him, all of his castmates supported him. So it's really just, you got to take this as a case-by-case thing.
Right, because it's you can't just say, okay, well, anyone who's more right-leaning, we're just going to cancel you off of Disney forever. It's about just respecting everyone's viewpoints. It's about just kind of, like you said, Chris Pratt. He's I never really knew exactly where he stood on politics and stuff, because he's not out there screaming his viewpoints in everyone's faces. Because at some point, actors, I feel who feel very strongly about stuff, they use their fame, and all they do is just give you their opinions on everything, and all they do is just use their platform. And you can use your platform for amazing things, but when it gets out of hand, it can be catastrophic. So I think like you said, Chris Pratt is a great example of someone who's more right leaning, but also just is respectful of everyone, which is
respectful.
Great.
He gave a great speech at a Teen Choice Award. Where we talked about God. He was just very respectful. It's you can be respectful and disagree with me. Sure. And so it's a really touchy subject, but I absolutely understand the frustration on both sides, because I'm not like so many young people say, I don't align with any parties. I have my views. I don't like either party. Where was I going to go with this? Oh yeah. So the frustration that the right side of the Star Wars community has, I see that as well, because I see these tweets that people who work at Lucasfilm make. And I'm that's gross. That's just gross stuff. And I should be held accountable on both sides. Unfortunately, it's not. And that's something that is always going to happen. But looking at this case by itself, I'm happy she's fired. Yeah. So let's take some questions and then let's just be done with this, because I don't like this. Gavin says, "Yo, I appreciate that."
What's up?
I'm gonna say something like, "This is firing stuff from social media posts that happened today. It makes sense." Yes, yeah. If it's happening now, and she kept poking the beehive, like, I'm sure the fans were upset with her. I'm sure Kathleen Kennedy and everybody else was like, "Stop it," and she wasn't. So
let's talk about this.
Yes.
Yeah, that's. What are your opinions on that?
Okay. I have not read them, so I want to make that very clear. I've heard they were gross. I heard he was fired, and I have not actually read the statements.
Yeah,
I find it bizarre. I'm not sure what exactly he said, so I don't want to say too much. I mean, if he's saying something like white people are superior, then fire him. But I think he was just making really edgy, dumb jokes. Which, I mean, on a show that's all about forgiveness and, something that happened years ago, I don't understand. That seems more like a James Gunn cancel culture kind of situation.
Right. I think there's people out there there's like people who are just trying to dig up everything just to bring people down. And I think, I read through all that stuff when that came out, and I was reading through his old tweets, and I think they were for sure definitely not appropriate for today's day and age. But I think there is something to be said, I guess, a little bit about, stuff that's old and, how someone could change throughout the years. But I think all in all, they make the right choices when they remove people off shows, because you can't really spread that that kind of, vibes like throughout stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know.
Definitely. Yeah. And also, I just want to say, when it comes to like Holocaust comparisons, I think they're dumb all across the board. Nothing in America is close to the Holocaust. So I don't like it when people compare Trump to Hitler. I don't like when Gina Carano compares conservatives to Jews. I don't like it across the board. Pedro Pascal compared Trump to Hitler, and Trump supporter to Nazis, kind of. That was gross. Well, should he be fired? I don't know.
It's a hard,
part for the course, because if you're going to fire him, fire almost every liberal in Hollywood.
Right. But it's just so, you can't compare that. Like, that's not appropriate. That's not something you should be doing, because it's just, you can't do that. It's nowhere near.
I wish people could get that in their head, but it's a very, very touchy subject. So for like the third time, I understand the frustration on both sides. Absolutely. Because in a way, not completely, I'm kind of on both sides, because I recommend, if you guys are watching this on the replay or those in the chat right now, check out Sean Chandler's take on this, because he probably has the best take on this whole thing. Very reasonable, very level-headed. He always is. So he's great. So definitely check out his thing on that. Gavin says cancel culture can be really annoying, but he should be fired. Absolutely agree. And I don't see this as an example of cancel culture, but agree. We all probably will be one day. So we just got to make content while we can.
For sure.
Any final thoughts, and then we can get away from this monstrosity?
Not a lot of final thoughts. I think it's just, it's definitely a tricky line to navigate. Like, I'll agree with you. I think it's just, I can see both sides of the argument, but I think in this situation, without getting into every single cancel culture situation on the internet, I think this situation, she should have been fired without a doubt. But yeah.
Yes. Okay. Positivity. Let's talk about Mando season 2. So you finally finished it.
Almost.
Once again, almost. What are your overall thoughts on the season?
It was awesome. It was very, very well done, dude. I loved it. I watched 4 or 5 episodes yesterday, so I kind of didn't watch it for a long time. I don't know why. I've been very busy, but I really, really enjoyed it. And I think something that I just noticed right at, like, even before talking about the storyline, I just think the cameras and the sets and the overall cinematic quality of the show just went straight up. It skyrocketed. It was just, there was so much, and we get to see so many more characters, so many more locations. It's a really, really well made show. Now, I mean, I am a fan of Star Wars. I personally am much more into Marvel than I am Star Wars, but I still love Star Wars a lot, and I really like the show. But I will say what you said. I feel like every episode can be formulaic, and I feel like it's kind of repeating the same things, which it's very fun and interesting to watch. It's a very visually appealing show. However, I just feel like certain episodes kind of just feel very similar. So I guess that's kind of my overall hot take on it before we start dissecting it. So.
I 110% agree. It's very, very formulaic. But then after the Ahsoka episode, the episode after
Yes.
that, I believe I love that one. I'm forgetting now, but I believe yes. It was a great connection because my big complaint was, oh, cool, they're setting up stuff with Baby Yoda that we probably won't see until season 4. I'm so happy I was proved wrong. Next episode,
It's so great. Yeah,
it continued what it set up in the Ahsoka episode. It was unfortunate that the Ahsoka episode, which was awesome by itself, that kind of made me negative about the whole show. I'm like, you literally just wasted Ahsoka. Like, you replace her with another character. I wish they did a little bit more with her, but it really felt like set up for more projects.
It was really cool to see Ahsoka. I will agree, though. It would have been
cool. Yeah.
It would have been nice to have her to see her a little bit more, but it was so cool just to see the universe come together, because for the longest time it felt so separate from the rest of Star Wars. So yeah. Yes,
and I mean, I've wondered this forever. Why was she never in the original trilogy? Well, obviously the real reason, because she was never created back then.
Right.
But Star Wars fans have such weird standards when it comes to stuff that they like, that if a character that should have been in the original trilogy that wasn't in the original trilogy was in the sequel trilogy, people would never shut about that. Because it's Ahsoka and because it's Dave Filoni, they can ignore that this noble character never showed up to help. Little stuff like that.
Yeah, that kind of stuff bugs me too. Yeah.
Like, I don't care that much, but I care that fans don't care, if that makes sense,
Right.
Like make up your mind what annoys you and what doesn't. But regardless, tangent. The next episode where Baby Yoda is sending out his force beams, like, that was cool. It was like direct connection, great action. We got to see Boba Fett. The next episode, I think, set up that one.
I think so. Yeah.
I directly set up that one.
The last episode, but they're great. Yeah.
It was so good. So
just like season 1, the end of season 2, just amazing. It's like it's so good.
Each 3 episodes at the end directly connect to each other. And then after I was satisfied with the ending, I looked back at the other episodes and like, yes, they're very formulaic, but looking at the formula, were they cool? Yes. So overall, I really enjoyed the season. I just got a little bored around episode 6 mark. So that's
I think it got really good at the end, and I'm excited to watch the final episode tonight. But that's what happened to me for season 1 as well. Like, kind of near just like the beginning area of the season, I'm like, this is formulaic. I like it, but I don't really feel the need to like watch it a ton. And but it's so worth it once you get into the end, because you see all the pieces kind of fitting together, and you get to see it's just like this whole overarching plot, and it's so good. They did it very well. So most Mando episodes feel like a video game side quest.
I agree with.
That's very true. So
sometimes the side quests can be amazing, and then once you finish the final boss, you're like, you know what, that side quest was really cool, and I'm glad I did it. Sometimes you don't. But with the ending, in retrospect, I look at the side quests, I'm like, I'm glad I did those side quests. So that's how I feel about them. But there's no denying that the actual episodes are very
so much
fun.
But do this,
do that. Yeah,
it's formulaic. Like, maybe they can break out of that eventually, but it's just, I don't know. I think it's worked for the show. They've kind of developed, like, this is how the show is formatted. I just think sometimes, like, before you get into like the whole twist or like extra like storyline of the entire season, episode to episode can feel a little dry. But I think all in all, they look amazing. They do a very, very good job on making these shows. I mean, they feel like the same production quality as a actual film. I mean, it's like amazing. It's really great. So
I mean, they have money, of course, but they do it so well. It's really immersive. Like, it never feels like a show. It just feels like that's the kind of thing with no, that's not a good comparison, so never mind on that. Next question we have, statement: Star Wars fans can never decide what they love. It's either too similar to Star Wars or too different. Absolutely. I pray for the day one day we get a happy medium. But I think Mando is kind of like that. However, you have some I'm a TLJ fan, but you have some hipster Last Jedi fans who like despise the finale, which happens. I kind of want to do a video essay, or just like a little video talking about appreciating each Luke Skywalker does not counteract your feelings on another Luke Skywalker. Like, yes, there's 3 distinct different variations of Luke Skywalker: farm boy, legend, grumpy old man. But I like them all, and you can like them all too. So
exactly,
Star Wars has become another form of politics.
Oh, for sure.
So any other thoughts on season 2? Any favorite episodes, moments?
Favorite episodes? I don't know. I think again, they all kind of flow together to me. I'm gonna have to kind of watch them episode by episode again, but like, because I started like on Maybe it was like episode 5 or something yesterday. I just kind of like plowed through those, but I think it's the really it's just a really good series. Like all in all, I think like I was saying earlier, I just think from a visual perspective, everything looks phenomenal. I think they did a excellent job with the VFX. I think the way they record the show with the Unreal Engine and everything, like the way they can do all that, that's really interesting to me. I think that's so it's really cool to see how they've been able to create this pretty much from the ground up. It's a whole new story, and I'm just excited to see where it goes. It's really great. So there you go. That's
great.
My
yeah, it's a nice balance of like nostalgia and then new stuff. And
for sure,
especially like little stuff. And this perfectly relates into the next question. But first, let me address Gavin's statement. Yes, there's so many Star Wars fans despise everything that is in the first two. That is so true. I'm glad that it's like not becoming that true anymore. Like OT fanboys are kind of a dying breed. Like now it's like people, you have your prequel shows who like now it's kind of like Lucas cultists, and then they hate Disney, and then Disney lovers who like love Disney and then kind of hate the prequels, but then still respect the OT. It's politics. I can't stand it sometimes. That's why I'm called basically Star Wars. This one. So as I was talking about, have y'all heard the theory that the Star Wars sequel trilogy is in a separate timeline?
I've heard it. I haven't.
So I'm not sure what exactly has been going on with the Star Wars community. Well, they're crazy. That's the first thing. But there's been this huge thing about how the sequels are going to be decanonized. They are using Hasbro toys as an example. Personally, as a Last Jedi fan, this is weird. I would love if the sequel trilogies got redone or decanonized because it's a fresh start. It will never happen because they've sunk so much money into all the merchandising, theme parks, and it's just kind of a failure they're going to have to live with. But I would like for that to happen. The separate timeline theory, I kind of heard of it, but I don't like it. If don't be a coward, don't like just ignore it. Evolve on it, because either decanonize it, remake it, or evolve on it.
So how do they do a separate timeline? They basically just remake the sequel trilogy and say, "Oh,
kind
this
of
is
like
another
how
timeline."
Some people, DC fans, view everything that Zack Snyder doesn't make a separate timeline. So it's like, yes, Superman showed up at the end of Shazam, but that's a different Superman. That's not Zack Snyder's Superman.
Right.
It's like the Zack Snyder movies, Man of Steel, BVS, his Snyder Cut. That's the Zack Snyder timeline. Everything else is just different timelines. That's kind of in the same vein from what I've heard. Keaton, please confirm if I'm kind of right on that. So I like every Disney Star Wars movie except one. Thank you, JJ. Yeah, Rise of Skywalker, ain't it? But do you have any thoughts on the timeline one? And
yeah, I think I don't know. I mean, I'm not a huge. I don't know. It's hard. I'm not a huge. I say I'm not a huge fan of the sequel trilogy, and then I have a Force Awakens poster behind me. But I think it's the only Star Wars poster I have that fits there. So, but no, I think it's interesting. I think, like you said, they have to kind of. They've put a lot of money into it. They can spin it in a way where they can still make it work. I think they can just live with it, move on, and kind of just still create good stuff. I think it's I don't know. I think Disney acquired Star Wars and they were so excited. They're like, we're going to just do this. And I feel like maybe they didn't like, I don't know. I think it's, there's a lot of people you have to please because you have, it's a huge franchise. It's gone through so many generations and it's just, there's a lot of variables. So I think it's hard to please everybody. But yeah, I don't know really what the best answer is, but I'm interested to see what happens moving forward with Star Wars. So. But yeah,
so absolutely, I'm excited just to see kind of what the future holds, and especially like new projects, and then nostalgic projects like Obi-Wan, but also kind of in the same vein as the sequel trilogy. I don't want them to decant. Like I want either go to the extreme or don't do a coward middle, because I
for sure
approve on what you messed up on. That's what I believe, and I think that's what the company should believe too. But I do like what they're doing, like little stuff like I think it was an episode 4 or 5 where they go into the lab and they see basically a clone of Snoke. You remember that? Yeah, like stuff like that. Like that's cool. Like kind of explain this random stuff that JJ made up. Like, if you're gonna have a dumb story, flesh out your dumb story. Who knows? Maybe in 20 years, Palpatine returning in Rise of Skywalker will be this brilliant, beloved fan story. So who knows? So like, I don't want them to cower out on it. I want them to really try to make the sequel something special, because if it wasn't for the Clone Wars, I probably wouldn't like the prequels as much as I do, but now it's my favorite era. Revenge of the Sith is my second favorite Star Wars movie, along with my fifth favorite movie of all time. So just I want them to not cower out. So that's my little
for sure.
talk on that. I'm curious. I'm curious what you guys think about. Oh, I love it. It's so good. I love the composer. I think he did Tenet. Yeah, he did Tenet as well. And it's so Star Wars yet not Star Wars yet. It has a nice, I guess, Western feeling. I love it. What do you think?
I love the music in Mandalorian so much. I think it's really well done because it has like that kind of it can convey a lot of different moods. I think it has like very intense and like suspenseful qualities, but then there's like very fun moments to the score as well. And I think it's a really good it's different from Star Wars. It's different from like the typical Star Wars music we hear, but it also has those elements of familiarity throughout it. So I think it's really well done. So
yeah, it's and the you gotta watch the Luke scene hopefully tonight.
For sure.
But the music that they play when Luke arrives, I didn't cry the way Star Wars Theory did. I'm not sure if you saw the video of him. Like he was just bawling like a baby, which is amazing. I love when Star Wars can do that to people.
That's great.
I was like tearing up because it was like emotional, but like the music just increased that because it is so powerful. Oh, I love that moment so much.
Thanks.
So do you have any final thoughts on Mando season 2? Then we just kind of take questions for the last 20 minutes or so.
For sure. Mando season 2. I think it was a great season. I think I liked it better than season 1. I will say that. I think it's season 1 was obviously just really exciting because it was just hype of being like this new thing. But I think season 2 did it all very well. They improved on many things. The storyline was phenomenal. I think they introduced a lot of new characters. The visuals, it just all worked very well. I'm very, very pumped to see that Luke Skywalker scene. So it's I'm very, very excited. So there you
go. Cool. Okay, now we can just take some questions. How long do you have? You have 20 minutes of questions? Sounds good.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. So people in the chat just kind of spam questions away, and we will answer them for the next 15, 20 minutes. I hope they just pretend I pray that every night. No, but really, like it depends. Like, what do you mean didn't exist? Like, if we could like completely rewrite it, I would love that. But it does exist, so I just kind of hope I would love to if they made a show.
Yeah.
What would you like to see to kind of fix trust?
I don't know. Like the more I've thought about it, it's just I see so many things that they could have done differently. It's so I think a show similar to like I guess Clone Wars, like how they can kind of fill in like a patch or whatever, kind of like just add more to it. It just feels like the new stuff just feels very cartoon-like to me. It feels very kind of like not necessarily, and now I'm not like all over all the different theories and all the different like opinions, but just to me, it just feels very like it doesn't go as deep as like the original trilogy and all of that. So I think it's a really, really hard thing. So I have no idea how to fix it, but I'm sure they could spin it some way if they think about it hard.
I think they need to just jam pack that era with video games, books, like good books, not like just like what happened in the 10 months between this movie, like good books that dive into the psychology of these characters. A show that will be the savior of this trilogy if it ever becomes beloved. We need a show by Dave Filoni that's kind of like Clone Wars that takes place after, and we need a good show. That's I can pontificate, but to sum it up, we need a good show after episode 9 that can hopefully make things better. Yeah, that's my take. Or I would love if they redid the sequel trilogy, but it's not gonna happen. So no, you gotta watch my favorite movies videos, because there I officially declared that Last Jedi is indeed my favorite Star Wars movie. So that would be possibly my favorite thing ever. I would love that so much. Qui-Gon is my favorite Jedi. So Auric, glad you could make it. Better late than never. Oh, okay. This so that's what I was thinking. The general, that's the name that that's been keep throwing around in those theories videos that I watch. Mephisto. Don't know anything about him. If you have any information, just to kind of sum up quickly, please let us know, Auric. The Secret War Disney Plus series will be Sword Focus. There we go. Okay, Aiden got his wish. Get you on the stream right now. To be honest, we can talk about that. The new Falcon and the Winter Soldier trailer. Really? Okay, that's funny. Why don't you take it, Aiden? Because I've pontificated for the last 5 minutes.
Dude, I love that trailer. I think I don't know, I saw it online, but I think they showed it on the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
only saving grace about that game. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did. Yeah, it was.
I'm so sorry. And you're not even a football fan. I'm sorry you had to go through that. That was probably the worst
Yeah,
Super Bowl I've seen.
I have
But
seen
yeah,
many more exciting Super Bowls in my day. It's the only football game I watch all year. So, um, the trailer was it was interesting. I'm excited for it. It's yeah, I got excited from it. I think it looked really good. So, but yeah.
yeah. So so the first trailer that aired in Disney Investor Day, I was like, okay, it just looks like action movie stuff. And
Hmm.
you think I like love action movies, but I actually don't. I because they're all very predictable in my opinion. But this trailer really got me hyped up. I'm not sure what it was. I'm not sure if I just paid more attention or I just needed a distraction from the really boring game. But this one really hyped me up, and I like what they're doing. It looks beautiful. It looks funny, and it's classic Marvel way. It
Yeah,
has me more excited than Black Widow, maybe just because I like Cap more, and I love legacy characters. So it just has lots of potential to be one of my favorite Marvel things. So I'm really excited for it. And this trailer that people called mid and aren't really raving about that much got me more excited than the one that people adored. So
yeah,
that's just me.
yeah. No, I was. It kind of caught me off guard. I was just kind of watching a subpar football game, and then watching this trailer. It was great. It was. It really got me excited, and I think it's. Yeah, I'm super pumped to see where it goes. Yeah.
Yes. My announcement video for the podcast just absolutely bombed. I'm disappointed in you guys. I put Toby in the thumbnail and did not do well. Let's see. Oh, we got a paragraph. Would you rather keep the fight scenes in the sequel trilogy the way they are, or have them in the style of the fight scenes of the prequels? By the way, you missed the theory I put earlier. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll look into that. You copy and paste it if you can, because I'm not sure exactly the one you're referring to. No, I'm happy that it's not overly flashy because, oh my god, imagine if Rey was fighting in the style of the prequels. Good god, the Mary Sue comments would never shut up. So people already call her Mary Sue, which she kind of is, but oh my god, if she fought like a prequel Jedi, they would never stop. And also
Sure.
Kylo Ren is like kind of a novice Sith Lord. Like that's why Rey can beat her up. Not because she's necessarily a Mary Sue, because we're dealing with two very, very unorthodox and wannabe Jedis.
Right. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm happy that it's a little more rough around the edges. And it just keeps it more interesting because it's a different era. It's a different kind of swordsmanship, and I still stand by the fact that any single prequel Jedi or even Padawan would destroy Rey or Kylo. So
for sure. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Any show you? Oh, yes. Okay. You can take that one because you seem to be a show guy.
Yeah, I am 100% blanking. Well, I have been watching, obviously WandaVision, but can't really binge it because it's brand new. But right. Other than that, I think, what have I been watching? I haven't been watching a whole lot lately. Obviously, Office is great. Get NBC Peacock if you don't have it already. Yes. Rewatch The Office. That's my big recommendation. But other than that, I started watching Big Bang Theory the other day. It's a great.
Is that good?
Really? It's pretty good. Okay. I don't mind it actually. It took me a second to get into, but I like it. It's pretty good. So
I know people love to meme on that one. Just like when people need a sitcom to make fun of, that's their go-to. So
for sure.
I should kind of form my own opinion on it and not just be a sheep. But I'm sure it's a quality show.
No, it's great. Yeah.
Let's see recommendations from my. I just realized that I don't watch that much TV because my dad just wants to watch The Flash nonstop. But yeah, The Office is great. I know you watched The Last Dance, so. I can't really recommend that to you. I've been trying to get into The Simpsons for some reason. That's kind of a cute show.
I never got into it. I'm excited to watch it sometime though. It's
Also, probably my favorite video series or video or channel right now is The Take. It's a company channel which I usually can't stand, but whoever the writers are great at dissecting movies and characters. So just binge some Take videos. Like that's kind of my show right now. They did a great series on The Office. They did a great one on Gone Girl. Moonlight, Marriage Story, any great movie, they have a great video essay for that. And yes, it's not like a personal one because it's a company, but I still recommend it. Yeah, right. They already have that like brotherly banter, which I love, and it's not like lame MCU humor, which it sometimes often is.
For sure.
And I also agree with that. They should not overdo the comedy. I'm not a massive fan of Winter Soldier. I think it's a good movie. I don't like using the term overrated, but if I were to use that term, I would give it to Winter Soldier. What do you think about Winter Soldier?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like, it doesn't speak to me too much, but I think it's good nonetheless. I don't know. I don't have like any, strong opinions either way on it, but yeah. Yeah. Let's see.
Yes. No, I that's why I'm excited
sure,
for
yeah.
it. I love legacy stuff. They do. Glad you can make it. Oh, I like your profile picture. It came from Filoni himself, basically. Sorry. Yes, I saw that. I completely missed that. That's kind of relates to the other timeline thing. I don't understand how that connects. If Ahsoka dies, the sequel trilogy. But basically, Ahsoka dies, sequel trilogy happens. Wait, when does Ahsoka die? Wait, isn't she? No. Oh, okay. Understood.
Yeah.
Right, because I was getting completely confused with when the Mandalorian takes place. But okay, I'm not sure how exactly that relates to the sequel trilogy, but fair enough. Yes.
Ooh,
Yes.
Blade
Okay, I'm
Runner,
so
yeah.
happy to hear that. Have you seen the original one?
I have. I liked it. I really appreciate it from like a filmmaking standpoint. It didn't like stand out to me a ton, but I really liked it. I liked it.
I think you should check out 2049 because
cool.
it is
Will
up
do.
in my top 20.
For sure.
DC Titans? Is that a joke? No, I'm playing with you. If you like it, that's great. I like crappy superhero shows. But I watched the first episode. I enjoyed it enough. But that's just a show that people love to meme on, and for good reasons. The writing sounds like an angry 14-year-old girl. It's like I know the F word now, so I'm gonna put this in every single. It's really bad. But if you enjoy it, power to you, because I enjoyed The Flash, so I really can't speak on this. Yeah, sorry, I completely forgot about defending Jacob. I loved it. Does not get enough attention. It is so great. Would be in my top 10 if I could include it in a movies list. So. Also on the same train of HBO Max. Sorry, Apple TV. Check out the documentary Boys State, which is a really great documentary about 1,000 boys who basically have to participate in a mock government for a week. It's really interesting.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool.
I assume this is response to my take on Winter Soldier. Sorry. It's a movie I appreciate. It's definitely kind of like Mission Impossible vibes. It has some nice themes with Bucky and Cap, but Sean Chandler summed it up so great. It's a good movie, but at the end of the day, there's still a talking computer, helicarriers in the sky, but there's complexity in the fact that the good guys are actually bad. So I kind of agree with that. Oh, then that's cool then. They're a very good YouTube channel.
Yes.
Micah, glad you could make it. We'll be wrapping up in 7 minutes or so, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. But fire away any questions you have. Perks Mean a Wallflower is awesome. Yes, I agree. Have you seen Perks Mean a Wallflower?
I have. It's awesome.
It's a great movie, right?
It's great.
It is so good. Who do you think the best casted villain in the MCU is? Mine is probably Killmonger. He played the character perfectly, in my opinion. Ooh, that's a good question. Why don't you take it?
Yeah. I don't know. That's a hard one. I don't know. Thanos Loki, is Loki. Yeah, Loki's great. I mean, Thanos is like that big one, but he's like, I mean, I don't think he's
motion capture. So it's like
right.
It's just different. I could see any great motion cap actor giving him a solid performance. I think it's just something different when you have that face, the demeanor, the hair.
Great. Loki has such a personality. I think it's just Loki's
and Killmonger is great,
dude, for sure. Yeah, it's
Michael B. Jordan is a pretty. I'm trying to think who else could play him. Like he really just embodies that role. He's so good at.
He does a great job. Yeah.
Which sequel trilogy movie had your favorite lightsaber battle? Well, TLJ doesn't have a proper lightsaber battle, so I can't.
I like the throne room scene in Last Jedi. But that's not really a lightsaber, is it?
Right, no
Yeah.
lightsabers. Truly
So
Flash. So
it's a
I gotta
great
go, I
action
guess,
scene
with
though.
it
So
is, it's so
yeah.
beautiful. But I probably have to go with Force Awakens.
Yeah. For sure, yeah.
Rey versus Kylo.
Oh, dude,
What
yeah.
happens in Oh, no, I'm sorry. In Rise of Skywalker, it's the one on the water, which is cool, but just kind of,
Yeah.
it's Rise of Skywalker. um, I love Flash also, so I guess it's odd. I love Titans, but I love Dick Grayson, one of my favorite DC characters. Doug Grayson. No, but I understand what you mean. I'm sure he's a great character. I'm not a personally comic reader, and there's not like accessible media where I can get into him. But I'll give it a shot one day. I'll give it a proper shot because I can totally see myself like really getting obsessed with it, and even though it's kind of a sucky show. And we lost Aiden. He muted himself, so I assume he'll be back in a second.
All right,
back. I think I'm done with The Flash. Season 6 was the last straw. What do you think, Aiden? Because we're both Flash fans.
Ooh, I'm excited to see what happens in season 7. I will say that. Not so much excited. I'm just kind of like, it's like one of those things, like it's a bad car wreck. You can't look away from it. So like I just want to see what happens, how it's resolved. But I am not invested in it. I probably will have a hard time watching season 7. It makes me so mad because it was such a good show, dude. It was so good. I love season 1. I love like up till season 3. It's an excellent show, and it's sad that it's like, going downhill. But I think we'll see. we'll see what happens.
Yeah, honestly, I think season 6 was pretty bad. There are some good elements in there. Just like it's so weird because my dad just loves that show. He just wants to watch it all the time. That's like his comfort show, I guess, which is cute. But But when watching it, it goes from just like so painfully bad to like, wait a minute, that was like great writing, great not directing, because the directing is whatever. Like that was great writing and acting and really emotional and progress the story forward in a nice and meaningful way. And then they make like a Nickelodeon joke. So it's just the contrast.
Right.
It's just, I wish it was a miniseries. I wish it was by Netflix. I wish the budget was bigger. There's so many things that they need to fix, but I'm still going to watch it every week because it's just my show.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Getting into about
this though. Superman and Lois looks really good. I'm not sure if you saw the trailer.
I did. Yeah, dude. Yeah,
it's good, right?
I don't normally get excited by DC, but yeah, no, it looks so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it has an HBO budget from what I've heard. So the budget is really helping with that feeling. Oh, that's right. We have a Loki show. There's just so much content in the next couple of years. It's kind of unreal, but looks great. I'm excited for it.
So excited,
I always have like a casual through line with trailers, unless it's a Star Wars trailer for an episodical film, then it's just like through the roof. But if it's not a Star Wars trailer, it's usually just kind of
here's
like
the thing.
Casual excitement.
The first time I really got excited for a film based on a trailer, like overly excited, was Tenet, and I regret that so much, man. So I'm trying really hard not to let any trailers like overly hype me now, but the Loki thing, dude, it looks so cool. So I am very excited, but trying to keep it contained. So yeah.
Am I the only one that actually likes? No, not even close.
No, yeah,
I mean, John Williams, despite some average movies, he's always amazing.
Yeah.
So yes, you're absolutely right. I had one. I have my original one that was an Obi-Wan Phantom Menace pop-out one. Then I upgraded to like, some cheap Target ones, and I got like $40 ones that were still at Target. Then I upgraded to like $100 one at a convention. So I have a Kylo Ren one. So I always have a bunch of lightsabers. But
nice.
Did you like lightsabers?
Yeah, I have a ton of like the cheap ones, and then I've been looking at Ultra Sabers lately. Once I have a little bit of money burning in my pocket, I'll probably buy one. I've also looked into making one because I know like it's very doable. Like I could 3D print it and then add in all the electronics and make it all very cool. So it's gonna happen.
That would be an insane video. You got to do that.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
David, what content are you planning on doing? Pretty much the same stuff I was doing when I was called basically Star Wars. Now I'm just going to talk like if there's an HBO Max movie that I like that has nothing to do with any kind of geekiness, I can now feel comfortable doing that. Funny enough, as soon as I stop calling myself basically Star Wars, I'm planning on doing a prequel series now where I'm going to go over some prequel content. Yeah, Star Wars will always be a part of the channel. It's just I don't want it to be the branding. But my love for Star Wars is always going to be there. So That's really the only major channel. So change. Sorry. All right. So just a couple more questions, and I think we're gonna wrap it up because we're approaching the 1 hour mark. If you were to pick your favorite lightsaber duel out of all the movies, which would you pick except Anakin versus Obi-Wan? That's just too good. My second favorite is probably Yoda versus Dooku. Not a fan of that one, but
yeah, it's good. I like
it's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, the Anakin and Obi-Wan fight, that's legendary.
I gotta go with any Luke and Vader fight. I mean, the one in Empire is great just because of, it's Empire and the iconic line, but I think the one in Return, just the emotion is like none other. When he threw his lightsaber away, I'm a Jedi like my father before me. You can't beat that stuff. So
dude, that's
probably
great.
That one.
For sure.
Probably my favorite, if I'm being honest. Like Obi-Wan and Anakin looks cool, and the dialogue is very Shakespearean in a memeable way. But that's probably my favorite, to be honest. What about you?
I love the one in Empire. I think it works very well. But I think no, like you said, anything between Vader and Luke, Vader and Anakin, no, Vader and Luke. I think it works very well, and I think it's just a really cool dynamic. I think those original trilogy lightsaber fights, they're very well done. So I think it's just all of them as a whole for me. It's hard to pick a specific one off the top of my head, but there you go.
Let's see. I agree. Yes, he's always a goat. He's just he's so good. Favorite Star Wars theme? Mine is actually Leia. Mine is Rey's, but Leia's a great pick. What about you?
Another hard question. Man, I don't know. I've never really given it much thought. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just always listening to Star Wars music. Like I know like lo-fi beats to listen to when you study for. I do that, but Star Wars edition. So I'm always listening to Star Wars music. So yeah, Rey is probably my favorite. I love the sequel themes because I just feel like
they're great.
Cool. I don't know what to say. But like the actual theme, like I can't remember Anakin's off the top of my head. I'm sure it's great. Anakin's betrayal though is great, but that's not his theme.
Oh yeah.
Kylo's suite is cool. The Force suite, which is kind of related to. That's why I'm not going to pick Luke, because the Force suite is the Force suite, who just happens to be played when Luke shows up. So, that's my unnecessarily long answer. One more. Ooh, now that's a tough one.
That's any film.
I mean, it's not a film. I mean, I kind of see some Barry in myself, just not as dumb as he is sometimes. Humble brag there, but God, Barry is dumb sometimes. I don't know. I want to go with Barry, but that's not a movie. From a TV, I mean, from a film, I don't know. There's just so many, and all my favorite films, I mean, I like Lady Bird. But thank God I'm not like Lady Bird, because she is horrible.
Such a good film. I love that movie.
So good. I don't know. I can't pick that. I'm not sure if you can come up with one right now.
Nope. That's way. I mean, it's a great question. It's just I cannot think of anything. It's because I think every film has like such a good film always has such great characters, and I think one of the things that makes films great is like a film that has characters that a lot of people can relate with. So I think it's hard to find one that you can relate with the most, because I think a lot of characters speak to you.
And I mean, there are more times I relate to like. Sorry. You're cutting out on my end, so I thought you were done. More times I relate to like the actual movie and the theme than like the actual characters, like Miles Teller character in Whiplash. I'm not that obsessive, but I appreciate the themes. I was trying to say, but I'm not like his character, so it's kind of stuff like that,
Yeah.
Okay, let's go rapid fire. Totally agree. There's only such a thing as a bad duel in the sequels. Yeah. The one on the water comes to mind. That one's just really lackluster with no cool music, which sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, who didn't? I took it one step further. I got my dog and my grandpa involved, so lightsabers were a huge part of my life. Wait, what was your question? I thought it would favorite Star Wars theme. Oh, you know what? I mean, it's just so there. It's hard. Like it's a great theme, but it's not like my favorite. But I like talking about a character theme. So, me too. Yes, we're going to be wrapping up soon. But if you go back, there will be spoilers. But hopefully you're caught up on it because it's a great show. Okay, last couple questions. Off topic, but I always listen to Legend of Zelda. Mine's The Last of Us because I don't really play. I played one Zelda game, but I can't remember the music, but I'm sure it was great. But I respect that. That's some solid music right there. Well, what's your go-to music when you study, Aiden?
Office lo-fi.
Really
For
nice.
sure.
Okay, I
It's
like
yeah.
that.
I'll listen to that, or I'll just put on, just very basic Spotify study playlists or
Yeah,
whatever it
yeah.
is. But yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
definitely been prevalent in the past couple of weeks when I've been literally doing assignments every single day. So, but
nice. I mean, not nice, but like, sorry.
yeah.
um, let's see. Ooh, probably Anakin's betrayal. I'm not sure if you have a preference on either one of these themes.
Anakin's Patrol, I think. Yeah. Oh, dude, yeah, for sure. It's yeah, it's great.
What do you who do you think would win in a fight, Galactus or Bully Maguire? Obviously Bully Maguire. With that amazing question, I think we can wrap up this episode. Anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
Not a whole lot over here. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. This has been a lot of fun. So we gotta do some more of these. So awesome.
Yeah. It took a little while to get the chat active, but thank you all for being here.
For
And
sure.
we should be doing this. I think every other week is kind of our
Oh,
sludge
definitely.
right
Yeah.
now. But check on my Twitter, which I forgot to tweet on, but and check there and check on my channel, and then of course turn on notification, which is the easiest way to be reminded.
Yes, for sure.
So that is all we got for you today, guys, and we will see you in the next episode. Take care.
All right. Bye.